All right, is it possible that despite all of your dreams and aspirations, what you want to do with your life, your real estate business, that you are just not going to make it? Not because of a lack of desire, not because you don't have good intentions of making it work, but maybe, just maybe, you are not putting in the effort. And so as a result, you think you're doing the effort, but you're not. That is a question that I have for you, and the question that I have for you derives from a question that I asked myself. And recently I hired a personal trainer, and I want to explain to you why I hired that trainer and how the experience and the mindset shift of hiring that trainer may in fact help you. And so a couple things I want to discuss about this. Number one is that you may not realize, so if we think about the steps in your journey, and this applies to you whether or not you're doing your first deal, or maybe you are in the process of doing multiple deals per month, right? You've got a level where you're at, and you got a level where you want to go. So how do you get there? Now that presupposes, first of all, that now you have a plan in place in terms of, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this to get me where I want to be. The first thing is, do you have a realistic evaluation of where you are today? That's number one. Number two is that, do you have a realistic plan of where you want to go? And then the third item, and most importantly, is accountability. How do you keep yourself accountable so that you're doing the things that are required each and every day, even the days that you don't want to do them, in order to get you to where you want to be? So let's cover each of those individually. And number one is that, do you know where you are today? I was contemplating a couple of different avenues to go for to get a trainer. And this is getting a trainer online, meaning they're going to coach me virtually. I'll get my own gym equipment, but they're going to hold me accountable. And I was kind of, I was looking at two. Well, number one, this guy named Greg O'Gallagher. He has a program called Movie Star Body. And then, so I was thinking about him. And then a friend of mine, Rich Sheffrin, he's friends with a guy named Wes Watson, who you can look him up on YouTube. And he's one of these, he used to be in a penitentiary, really buff guy. He's always yelling at you and screaming at you. And
like I just said, like I just wrote, that vision is not a what if. It's not a what if, it's a must be.
But he offered some sort of fitness program. And so I said, hey, let me see what he's got. So I wrote him, I filled out an application, and I wrote him an email, and I wrote him a description, and he said, hey, here's what I got. And so he replied back to me, and I said to him, well, I'm considering this other guy. And I was wondering what your program is like, because I don't like that other guy's program. And so I was wondering what yours is, because maybe I might like yours better. So I wrote him that. And then he came back to me and he said something along the lines of, hey, if you're comparing me with someone else, go with that other person, because I'm not second choice. So I was like, oh, that's an interesting way of saying that, of kind of replying. And I thought about it, and I just said to myself, I just wrote back and I said, hey, not a problem. I understand your point of view. I wish you continued success in whatever you're doing. And that's it. I didn't take it personally. I just thought that's something for you to consider, is that I never take any of that stuff personally. It's just their response, their way of operating, and the way that they're communicating with the world, and the perception of the world. And there's no issue with it. And I just chose to say, you know what? Okay, that's fine. We're cool. No problem. So anyway, he wrote back, and he said something to me that made a lot of sense, and this is what got me to sign up with him, is he said something along the lines of, like, your whole questioning, Chico, was all flawed. You're already trying to figure out, you were trying to find a program that fits with what you want. And that's not what success and growth are. Success is figuring out what is required, and then making the commitment to do whatever it takes. And he said along the lines of, hey, whenever you're ready to do whatever it takes, then you let me know, and I'd be more than happy to coach you. And I saw that, and immediately something clicked on me with that, because I thought to myself, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so when you think about that, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I started to think about, well, gee, is there something along the lines of how I responded to him and my reasoning and my decision-making process about that leads me to believe that I might have a flaw in my decision process about other things in my life. And this fitness thing, and my view of what is required for fitness, is now maybe kind of a spilling over into a lot of other things in my life. And so I said, hey, let's do it. So we went ahead and I committed to doing it. And then I signed up, and he gave it's through this app. So I signed up with the app, and then had to do a bunch of stuff, and including take photos of myself. And I'm 5'10". Right now I'm at 203. It's the heaviest I've been. I didn't think I was that fat. And then I took the pictures of me and I submitted it. And then when I looked at the pictures, I'm like, wow, I am way out of shape. I am way out of shape. I was looking at that. I'm like, it's interesting the perception that you have of yourself versus when you see the clearness of that right there in a photo. And that's the first step, is that, do you know where you are today? You know, and do you know in terms of where you stand? You know, that's number one. And so when it comes to the fitness, I'm like, wow, I'm in worse shape than I thought it was. I didn't realize that. And I'm like, wow, the severity of this is not good. And so for you, it could be that, hey, you're going along one path and you think that, hey, it's moving along right well, but in the end, it's not going anywhere. And you think it's going somewhere. And because I was doing this workout and this diet, and it wasn't working out, obviously, because I'm at 203. And now thinking about that, and when you think through that, then the question to you is that, are you going along a path right now in life and your journey in real estate and trying to get to where you want to be that you think is moving in the right direction, but it definitely isn't? And you're going to come back a few years from now, or 6 months from now, a year from now, and all of a sudden realize that, oh, I never got to where I was. And you think to yourself, oh gee, I wonder why that was. I don't understand. I made all the effort, but the severity of the path that you were on wasn't getting anywhere. So then now the first day, today was the first day workout, and I am completely drenched. You can't see it here in this camera. And so now the next thing is, are you doing what's required for success? And so now I had a workout today that lasted a lot longer than I would have done it myself. I probably would have given up sooner rather than later. And so the intensity of that workout was probably more. I worked out more today than I had worked out in the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, wow, if this is what it takes, I was completely off. I was completely off in terms of the effort required in order to make this thing work, maybe. And so that's a question that I have for you, is that think about your effort and what you're doing, and think about the email that he sent to me. It's like, hey, growth happens when you don't think about, oh, I like to do this, oh, I don't like to do that. You say, you know what, I'm going here, and this is what's required, and I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to make that happen. It doesn't matter what the obstacles are. It doesn't matter what I need to do. And so then now, like, I didn't thinking about this workout and the workouts that are coming up and what I have to do over the next 90 days, it is a lot more intense by far than anything that I had even considered doing, and even would have done on my own. And so that's my question to you, is that, what's your plan? And does your plan have the right intensity and the right activity and the right velocity and the right just commitment in order to make something happen for you over the next 90 days, as you're planning on doing what you're planning on doing? So the last part of this equation is accountability, because there are going to be days when you just don't feel like you want to do what you're supposed to do. There are days that you just feel that, you know what, maybe today I don't have to do this thing. I could just skip today and work and do it tomorrow. And so with this app, I'm paying this guy some money, and now I've got a commitment, and he's on the app and he's looking. It's like as if I got Big Brother looking after me, and I have to count my calories, which appears in the app. I have to work out every day. I have to do, and there's so many things I got to do, and now I can't hide from that. And so then my question to you is that, what sort of accountability do you have in place to hold you to your plan, and to make sure that you do whatever is required? Because at the end of the day, that's bad lighting. At the end of the day, you cannot trust yourself to do what is required. You just cannot. I've figured that out. You have to have people pushing and holding you to a higher standard, holding you to believe that you can accomplish more than you can in a faster time period than you can, and at a level at which you may not understand or comprehend that you need to be at in order to be able to achieve those results. And that only happens, I think, it has to happen. You can't do that on your own. You have to have a coach. So I have two coaches. I have a business coach. I have and I have two coaches, a business coach, and I have this fitness coach. And I'm thinking about getting another coach. I'm going to have three. Well, I mean, who says you got to have only one coach? Why not have three? at the end of the day, you can't hold yourself accountable. You got to find some other method. That could be hiring a mentor, having that could be you know, having somebody, having a set of people around you that inspire you, that push you to do better, because now when you're around them, you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing anything. And so at the end of the day, I'm also going to hold myself accountable to you. So over the next 90 days, I am planning on I'm making the commitment fully to get in the best physical shape of my life. And I know that this sort of discipline and this here is going to help in all areas of my life. And lately, I have just been lackadaisical about a lot of things. And it's time to just man up or woman up, whatever way you want to say it, and do whatever is required. And raise your intensity to a level that which you didn't even think was possible for you. But that is the level of intensity required to get you to where you want to be. And that's my message for today. And as always, appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon.